Paste up the wall with the adhesive appropriate to the surface you are installing onto. Use a guard to cut in the adhesive. This makes life easier with less cleaning down later. Paste up to and not beyond the first tram line. Taking drop 1, which has the white border, offer it into position by aligning its leading edge to the plumb line. Also ensuring its midway point, measurement B, lines up to the mark indicating the horizontal midpoint on the wall. Be sure you work with your PTFE spatula in an up and down direction only, taking care not to stretch the material across its width. Scribe in the tops and bottoms to the ceiling and skirting trims using your hard plastic spatula. You should now check and double check that your drop is correctly positioned by carefully checking it against both the horizontal and vertical plumb lines. When cutting the join, we advise the use of a protective plastic strip, which first needs to be cut to size. This strip is positioned behind the joint and protects the wall from being damaged or scored when cutting your joint with the snap blade knife. Position the plastic strip at the exact point where you will be making the overlap and trim joint. Paste up the wall for drop 2 using the same techniques that you used on drop 1. Use your guard to keep the trims clear of adhesive. Make sure you keep adhesive away from the marked tram lines. Now take your numbered drop 2 and offer it into position by matching the image to that of drop 1. You will find it useful to position drop 2 with a belly so that the whole drop is held on the wall, leaving you both hands free to manoeuvre the second drop into position and match it to that of drop 1. At critical match points, you will find it useful to cut a notch in the overlap, thereby assisting the matching process. Remember, when cutting a notch, not to cut too far into the overlapping drop, as this will reduce the area through which you will be able to cut your join. Work steadily down the joint, looking for and making the correct pattern matches. You can cut more than one notch in the leading edge if this helps you achieve a better match. Once you're satisfied you've achieved a good match down the length of your drop, remove the belly and smooth the remainder of the material against the wall using your PTFE spatula, working with an up and down motion to avoid stretching the product across its width. Now you're ready to make the overlap and trim joint. Before cutting your joint, make sure you have a new blade in your knife. Taking your knife and a clean 45cm steel spatula, which you should position down the centre of the overlapping pieces, cut down steadily and precisely against the edge of your spatula. Once you've started your cut, do not remove the blade from the joint, as this will lead to an unsightly and unacceptable step in the joint. After cutting the joint, remove the overlap and underlap, and remember to remove the plastic strip from the joint. You will now need to apply sufficient adhesive to the previously unpasted tramline area to ensure a good bond at the joint. However, care needs to be taken not to apply too much adhesive, as excess will squeeze out, contaminating the face of the product when you make the final joint. Now lay the edge of drop 1 against the wall surface using the PTFE spatula in a vertical movement. Starting from the centre of the join, lay in the edge of drop 2 to the edge of drop 1. You may find this easier to do with clean fingers. Once you have laid in the joint, smooth the joint down with your spatula. Repeat this process all the way down the length of the join, taking care to work carefully, cleanly and methodically to achieve a good quality finish. Now you're ready to trim the tops and bottoms. Scribe along the ceiling and skirting lines. If you have a scribing tool on your knife, use that, or alternatively use your spatula. Then, Using your clean 45cm steel spatula and a sharp knife, cut the tops and the bottoms, remembering never to remove the blade from the cut once you've started. Once the trimming is complete, you can then clean down your trims. And for best results, use your spatula to shield the face of the image while sponging carefully. You're now ready to move on to applying drop 3. Having pasted up drop 3 in the same way as for drops 1 and 2, again remembering to keep adhesive away from the marked tram lines, you're now ready to apply drop 3. Apply your numbered drop 3 to the pasted wall, offering it into position by matching the image to that of drop 2. Again, position drop 3 with a belly so that it is held on the wall, leaving you free with both hands to manoeuvre the third drop into position. Then work steadily down the joint, looking for and making the correct pattern matches. Where you have corporate logos or text, as is the case here, notching is essential as a perfect match will be required, as it is at such points that your customer will be most critical. Once you're satisfied with the matching at the joint, smooth the drop gently but firmly, removing all bubbles. Before cutting your joint, position your plastic strip behind drop 2's edge. With a new blade in your knife and a clean 45cm spatula, position the steel spatula down the centre of the overlapping pieces and cut steadily and precisely down against the edge of the spatula in the centre of the joint. Always remember that once you've started your cut, do not remove the blade from the joint. Cut steadily and precisely down against the edge of your spatula in the centre of the joint, remembering not to remove the blade at any time. After cutting the joint, remove the overlap, the underlap and your plastic strip from the joint. Site hygiene is important to maintain, so keep yourself and your tools free from adhesive contamination at all times, thereby keeping the image free from adhesive. Now lay the edge of drop 2 against the wall surface using the PTFE spatula in a vertical movement. Starting from the centre of the joint, lay in the edge of drop 3 to the edge of drop 2. Again, you can use your clean hand to lay in the joint, as this is sometimes more effective than using a spatula. The process and techniques for applying the remaining drops are the same as we have worked through to get to this point. Let's just go through the key learning points. Ensure you have a clean, tidy site, ideally with no other trades working with you. Have the right tools and equipment for the job. Prepare the wall surface properly. Correctly identify the wall surface and select the appropriate adhesive system. Cut and set out your drops carefully. Mark out the wall, measuring precisely. Use notching to achieve a good match, especially where you have a critical match point, for example, text or logos. Use spatulas correctly, smoothing up and down only to avoid stretching the product. Always use a plastic strip to protect your substrate. Use a new blade for each cut. Keep product clean and free from adhesives at all times. Once the job is complete, take a few minutes to inspect your work and satisfy yourself that you've achieved a good finish. This could be checking that all your edges are stuck down with no dry joints, that the trimming is neat and tidy, and that the image is free from any adhesive contamination. If you'd like to know more about Muraspec digital products and our training workshops, call us on 08705 117 118, or visit our website at www.miraspec.com.